Welcome back, folks. My name's Shane. You're listening to the Ripley Fall. There it is right there from the folks at Jam Pedals in Greece. This is a very musical modulation pedal. It gives you chorus, vibrato, and phaser, and a little secret weapon, which I'll talk about in just a moment. Let's take a look. All right, here's the pedal up close. So on this side over here, you can switch between chorus and vibrato, and this will be turned on from this foot switch over here. The D control here is the depth, and we get a speed control over here. Now the plus minus button on this side or switch allows you to have a more prominent sound, whether that's chorus or vibrato with this in the plus position, or a less prominent sound with it in the minus. The button on this side here operates the phaser, where you can control the speed using this dial at the top. Now, if you're wondering whether or not you can combine the effects, you absolutely can. So you can use either the chorus or vibrato at the same time as the phaser, and I'll showcase that both clean and dirty coming up. But this also gives us another kind of crazy option built directly into the front. This third foot switch right here, which ramps up the speed of wherever you've got it set. So if you want to just kind of get crazy like you heard in that intro track, just for that last part of that solo, or whether you're doing rhythm stuff, you can set up the speed accordingly, which is this control here, and then hit the button and it will ramp up from there. It's pretty cool. The Ripley 4 will also work with external expression pedals. So we have an expression D on one side, which controls the depth, and on the other side you can control the speed of the effect, which is really cool. This pedal runs on 9-volt DC. Our input for the power is on the back. We get side mounted in and out sockets over here, so you can run it directly into your amp. I'll be showcasing this just going directly into the front end of the PV Classic 50 today, but if you've got an effects loop, you can run it through that as well. It still sounds beautiful just hitting the front end, and we'll get to that in just a minute. A massive thanks to the folks at Jam Pedals in Greece for sending this out. I really appreciate it. They make fantastic stuff, and this one is no exception. I reckon you'll like the tones of this if you're looking for a modulation. Let's get into it. Let's kick things off. I'm plugged into my PV Classic 50 back here. This is a 410s amp mic'd up with an AEA N22 ribbon mic and also a Sennheiser E906. This is a real amp in the room with real speakers mic'd up. I just like to preface that. No IRs or anything. So here we go. This is my clean tone on neck and middle together. We're going to start by taking a look at the right-hand side of the pedal, and most of the controls on here kind of relate to the right-hand side. So this will be in chorus mode because we have this toggle switch in the up position. I'll show you vibrato in just a sec. The depth control set up most of the way across on this side, so it's going to be a more prominent sound. And then we also have the speed set back, so it's not going to be that fast, but just a beautiful sounding chorus. Here we go. I mean, that is so musical. Let us know what you think of that. What I'm going to do is just turn the depth all the way up. So this is as prominent as this effect will go without using this toggle switch over here. So have a listen to the difference. Now, I love the fact, even with the depth cranked, it's not doing anything too obnoxious, and that's great. A lot of chorus pedals get a little bit too seasick if you turn the depth up too much, so that's really cool. Now, there's a toggle switch on this side, which makes the effect more prominent. So what I'm going to do is just back this off a hair, and I'll show you the difference with it down and up. So yeah, it just sort of fattens it all out and gives you a more prominent, I guess, mix to some extent as well. So yeah, it's just adding more oomph to the overall chorus signal, which is great. Now this has two modes, right? So if I push this back down and we go back to the chorus mode, there's also vibrato. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the difference, I'll show you the difference. So that's a very different sound to chorus. It's kind of similar, it's under the modulation family, but that's about it. So the difference to me is the chorus sort of suits some of that 80s kind of stuff, or, you know. as the vibrato kind of suits bluesy stuff. Now that's actually a little bit too prominent for me, so I'm going to back the depth off, and this is still with the plus sign down, or the plus and minus in the negative position. Here we go. So now we've got some speed, and this is where I think this effect really shines. Now that's kind of like comping over a shuffle. Now, if you want to slow it right down, you can do so as well and get just a more sort of, not ambient style thing, but just a little bit less prominent vibrato. I really like this effect. It sounds better in the context of a jam track or mix when you're playing live than it does kind of on its own, to some extent anyway, but at least where I've got it dialed in right now. The cool thing about this vibrato effect, like the chorus, you can make it more prominent or less prominent thanks to that toggle switch. So we'll flick it up. I'll show you the difference. Here we go. This is with it down still. It's super musical, man. I love it. It feels great to play. There's no noise or anything coming through. That is really nice. I'll just bring the speed up a hair. Where I've got it set right now would sound great for like a slow blues kind of progression. Have a listen to this. Just beautiful, really nice. One of my favorite things on this pedal is this center button, and what this will do, it will actually speed the effect up. So I'm back to chorus, and as you can see, I've got it set up like this. Let's have a listen. Yeah, I mean, I love that. Let us know what you think. Over to the ripple effect, which is a phaser. So that's on this side. You can see the light blinking. Now, this light corresponds to the speed of the effect, and this is how it sounds with it set at 12 o'clock. All right, over to both sides of the effect now. And what I'm going to do is just cycle between chorus. We'll start there, and vibrato. Here we go. You know, with chorus on there, I think that's the winner. It really does sound great. But let's make some noise now on the drive channel. Over to the drive channel on my amplifier now. We're going to take a look at the vibrato with a little bit of dirt to begin with. That's my starting tone. Let's make it more prominent. That's a full sounding vibrato right there. Over to some chorus tones. All right, over to the phaser. You know, I never used to kind of get phaser, but I love it a little bit slower. I think that's where it really shines. Pretty cool. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm gonna give you my final thoughts here on the Ripley Fall from Jam Pedals in Greece. Now, much like many of the other pedals that I've reviewed from Jam Pedals, this sounds beautiful. It's got such a clean signal going into the amp. Whether I'm playing clean or dirty, there's no additional hiss or crackle or anything like that coming through. So if you're looking for a pedal that doesn't raise the overall noise floor of your signal, this is a really great choice. The chorus and vibrato are both really musical, but being able to pair it alongside the phaser gives it a good point of difference from a lot of other modulation pedals, and it will work for vastly different styles, whether you're playing fusion or playing rock and roll kind of stuff where you want, you know, the EVH kind of sound. If you can do that, this will give you that as well. It's a classic sort of combination of tones in here. But for blues and the kind of stuff I do, I could leave this on anytime I'm playing behind someone else and just give it an almost sort of like faux Hammond organ kind of sound. You can really dial in that kind of stuff with this, which I really like. Now overall, this is a really easy pedal to operate. It's very simple to dial in a tone that you like, with one small exception. If you plan on using this button in the center to ramp up your speed, you kind of have to think about your settings a little bit more with that. But overall, it's great. Maybe my only sort of slight ding against this pedal for me personally, and this is just me, I would have much preferred top mounted jacks on this so I could plonk it on the pedal board a little bit easier, but if you've got space for this, it's a no-brainer. I love the fact that we get expression pedal functionality here as well. I don't actually own an expression pedal, so I didn't test that in this video, but overall musicality wise, it's great and it's very simple, and this is what I think the Greeks get right. They're great at building a very simple interface, but having the pedal be extremely musical. Anyway, let us know what you think of this. If you want to check it out, I'll link it down below, and a massive thanks to Jam Pedals for sending this in for the review. I'll catch you later. See ya.